Azazel, the accursed one, the seducer of humankind, that mighty fallen angel. He is the scapegoat of sin offering, the archdemon of the Judean desert, the king of the Sirim, or the Sedim, the goat-like spirits. Before his fall from heaven, he was a member of the order of thrones and of the cherubim, two of the highest angelic orders that be. As an angel of light, the name Azazel means the strength of the Lord. But after his fall, he would come to be known as Amaymon and Paimon, two of his secret names, known only to the readers and practitioners of the mystical arts. In the lore of the occult, Azazel is the archdemon of the elements of fire and frost, the dark spirit of the earth and water, and principality of the south and the west. As the infernal emperor of the south, he goes under the name Amaymon, having the form of a fair old king, with a long beard, the ears of a horse, and a great crown upon his wise head, riding upon a rampaging lion. His mighty presence is announced by the flashing of lightning and the rumbling of thunder, which shake the earth to its center, and the crashing of things, which will astound the summoner, irrespective of how skilled they may be. Azazel Amaymon is a fierce spirit, for he will approach the limits of the space assigned to him. And if the summoner does not bind him strongly enough, he will invade the summoner's space and likely do him harm, for he is a mighty spirit, not to be toyed with by amateurs. His kingly presence must only be invoked by a most skilled magician, and in the rarest of conditions. As Amaymon, he presides over all demons of the south, and to him are they all obedient. He bestows riches and dignity, and by the permission of the heavenly Lord, he has the power to consecrate books. Azazel is also the infernal ruler of the West, and when he assumes his role as the principality of the West, he goes under the name Paimon, appearing as a beautiful king, young and strong like a soldier, dressed in all splendor and magnificence, riding upon a camel, and having upon his head a fine crown of jewels. His countenance as Paimon is friendlier and more feminine than his form as Amaymon. Nevertheless, he must only be summoned by a skilled mage, and in the rarest of occasions. These warnings are agreed by the great grimoires of the mystical arts. In the first Book of Enoch, Azazel was one of the chief watchers who descended on earth to instruct mankind, and was among the 200 watchers who became corrupted, copulating with the daughters of men, and giving rise to a race of half-angel half-human hybrids called the Nephilim, an act which led to their fall. It was he who taught men how to make knives, swords, shields, and all weapons of war, while teaching the women dyes and the arts of beautification. Thus, by the word of the Lord of Spirits, it is he whom the many sins of men are ascribed unto, for in the view of the heavenly Lord, he introduced the equipments of vanity and weapons of murder, ruthless killings and wanton bloodshed. Like his fellow fallen angel and watcher, Samael, whom we already made a video about, Azazel also copulated with the mortal prostitute Naamah. But what he begat was not like the rest of the Nephilim. What he begat was a race of goat-like spirits called the Sirim, or the Sedim, spirits with the upper body of a man and the hairy limbs of a goat. Thus, he is called the king of the Sedim, the king of the Satyrs, the king of the goat-like demons. As punishment for his sins, Azazel was chained in a desert, covered with jagged rocks, until Judgment Day, so says the first Book of Enoch. But the legends of the occult disagree with the Enochian texts, that Azazel is not an imprisoned scapegoat, that like the rest of his kind, he is presently a free spirit, who guards hidden treasures, and teaches his followers magic and sorcery, with which they can accomplish great and unbelievable deeds. And unlike most Jews who only see the bad side of their demons, and never the good side, the Assyrians came to adopt the Sedim, the goat-like children of Azazel, as guardian spirits. Guardian spirits invoked in exorcisms to ward off evil spirits. Azazel would also come to be accepted by the Order of Knight Templars, the Gnostics, and various mystical traditions, and would be known by the name Baphomet, the Goat Lord, or the Goat Man. Some say the Black Goat, for it is he who is the father of the goat-like spirits, the father of the satyrs, and he would be worshipped as the giver of fertility and wealth. As Baphomet, he is also called the Goat Lord of Mendes, perhaps because he was first worshipped by the ancient Egyptians, by the people of Mendes in ancient Egypt. To the Muslims, on the other hand, the story of Azazel is different. He is the jinn who came to be known after his fall as Iblis, the devil of Islam. As the Muslim God, Allah, created the angels from light, he created the jinns from smokeless fire, and created man from clay. After the creation of Adam, the man he molded from clay, Allah commanded the angels and the jinns to prostrate before Adam, and all the angels obeyed and bowed to Adam, all except Azazel. When Allah demanded to know the cause of his disobedience, Azazel answered, saying, "Why should I, a being of smokeless fire, prostrate unto a being of dirt and filth? I am better than him." And this led to his expulsion from the presence of Allah and from the Garden of Bliss, after which he became known as Iblis, a name which means despair. Iblis would eventually sway other jinns to his side, presiding over them as Shaitan, chief of the Satans. These are the stories and identities of Satan-Azazel. Is he the fallen angel called Lucifer? The teachings of the Jews say he is not, and the great grimoires say the same, that although Azazel is a mighty demon king, he is under the supreme reign of Lucifer, the greatest of the powers that be, in the kingdom of hell. But was there ever an angel called Lucifer? Nay, some would say. Lucifer is just a title, they would say. But again, the teachings of the Jews disagree, for there was indeed an angel, called the Morning Star, and he was the very first Satan to fall, before the time of Azazel, and before the time of Samael. He would come to be known as Lucifer after his fall, a name given to him as the Hebrew texts were translated. So, who is Lucifer? And what was his real name? We shall know his story soon enough.